Hello everyone, how you doing? It's Friday, and this is the first time in a long time that I've done a video almost every day. It's just felt right, and that's the way I do things. I do things the way I feel, and it's just it works best that way. Don't you find that you do? It's better. Life is much nicer when you do things because you want to, not out of a feeling of obligation or out of a feeling of guilt. And that's something I'm very familiar with in my life, you know, being a former people pleaser. I still want people to be happy, but I won't kiss anyone's ass. I'll kick it. Nowadays, I'll kick your ass before I'll kiss it, you know, to try to help you. So, yeah, so I just, the talking to everyone and connecting to you all in this way, it's still vital, it's still important, and this week it's felt right to do so. I'll talk to you folks a little bit. I love the comments and the responses, and I know that people are gently chiding me, being human with me regarding my last video where I was not comparing myself to Genesis or those groups. I'll say again what I said, which I think some of you understand what I mean, and maybe your comments are jokey, but I mean it. My music is as valid as anyone's. I'm not saying it's as good as, I'm as valid as Genesis, Velvet Underground, Lou Reed. Anyone who makes a sound, it's valid. That's what I'm saying. And I know that much is true. So for those that find the music, you know, whatever you discover in it, it's yours. It's valid. It's as valid as what you find in the music of Bob Dylan. Yes. Pete Seeger, Miles Davis. That's what I'm saying. And it's not an ego statement. It's a truth statement. You know, art is art. Expression is expression. It's all valid. I've said this in videos before, but I'll say it again, and I'll say it boldly. Especially once I'm dead, I'll be appreciated. I have a view of archiving and the way that many artists are, I think the word is posthumously being appreciated. They're gone, they're dead, or they were, you know, they got left in the shadows until long past the fact. I see that ongoing. I've been watching that historically happen to people who were very worthy of recognition, didn't receive it, you know. And do I feel like I'm one of those? Oh yeah, sure I do. You know, it's not a negatively ego thing to say. I'm saying it positively. I deserve recognition for what I do, you know, from whoever, you know. It's like, for example, if I had money to advertise and could reach people, yeah, I would find a big audience, but I don't have the money, you know, so it's piecemeal. It's one by one. It's a little trickle. But I'm valid. I know that. And to me, it's important for me to stand tall on that rather than just say, oh, okay, I was just joking. No, no. And that's fine that you joke with me, but if you may not have meant it, maybe you did, but telling me, hey, don't let your head get so big, that's not what I'm doing. You know, you misunderstood what I'm saying. I'll say it again. My expression is as valid as any expression that's been expressed on this planet or will be expressed. That's what I'm saying. And that is a fair, accurate, true statement. Someone else asked me what I thought of Graham Parsons, told me to listen to a particular song. I definitely know Graham Parsons, know that music. I'm aware that Graham Parsons was a really good, deeply felt, feeling musician, had a lot of soul. So I recognize Graham Parsons. I have one single, but I just don't like to hear, again, this seems to be hard for some folks to understand. I'm really tired of most of the music that the world listens to. For the most part, I'm really tired of the standard forms. And so I recognize Graham Parsons' greatness, but I don't want to hear it, you know, not really. If somebody gives me his records, I'll take him. Um, so I have another vinyl update. A new record store has opened up in Omaha called Almost Music, and it's run by one of the guys that used to be one of the younger staff down at the antiquarium. I hadn't seen this guy, Brad Smith, for maybe almost 20 years. Married now with kids and the whole bunch. And it's a used record store. But his opening just opened Saturday, and what he has in the store is magnificent. He's off to a great start. I had to put records back. I couldn't even afford what I bought. What I mean is, you know, right now, I'm making enough money that the main thing the money needs to do is to go for necessities. You know, records are a luxury. They're the luxury that I live for. So I did. I bought some records. I had to put some back, and I could have easily spent $1,000 there yesterday. He had some great jazz. I'm sorry, I'm telling, you know, because he had to leave us several. I wanted to take a third of what he had in the jazz. But anyway, I did spend about $60, and I also put my records on consignment there. I don't like to do consignment because I tend to forget them. I'm not focused on bringing in the money. I'm just focused on living. But anyway, I did it. So I have some records to show you because I picked up some good things. The dollar section was awesome. I got this Bonzo Dog Band Kinshim. It's obviously beat, but it was only $1. I didn't have this album. I like the Bonzos. Now they do a lot of pastiche, and they do a lot of different types of musical styles with their humor. And I always find myself skipping over the blues numbers, even when the lyrics are funny. I'm really tired of the blues changes. But in starting to read the inner story or whatever, I see that this is likely where the band Silver Mountain Zion got their name from the reference here. Kind of like Death Cab for Cutie. So I picked that up yesterday for $1. Let me set these away because these aren't records I bought. I got an Isotope album for like what, $3 or $4. Deep End. It's in beautiful condition on Go. Love that. Oh, I also see that Fred is doing his Give Me 10 again. It's New York, and I'll likely respond to it, but the one I'm thinking about responding to is the one about colored vinyl, because I just, maybe there's some colored vinyl in here. Frank Perry, who was part of Overy Lodge, that album that is legendary, hard to find, produced by Robert Fripp. He was the percussionist. Here's another one of his solo percussion albums on Celestial Harmonies. And these albums are not entertainment. These records are kind of like for health, for me. They really are. Ceux de Dieu, I was telling about you. I just saw her, Circuit de You. I listened to both of these now. Man, excellent. Okay. Also in the dollar section of the new store was this. It's pretty scratchy, but it's like I had to get it. Mumia Abu Jamal, with music by Man is the Bastard. I'm not going to get into politics this morning. I wasn't there with Mumia. I do know from personal experience how the U.S. government, the FBI, and the CIA do their best to discredit people who they consider a threat, not to the American people, but to their imperial power. So I wouldn't be surprised if what Mumia is claimed to have done is a lie, but I don't know it. So don't, please, if it's an issue to you, I don't know about it. So, okay, all right. Someone else was saying something about me referring to Quebec as Canada. Well, I can't remember everything. So the independence movement, thank you. But please, you know, to assume, I don't know, it's almost like, it's interesting sometimes, some of the comments. It's like, I don't know if it was, you know, I just find it interesting. Some of you who know me know what I'm getting at. I'll put it like this. It's interesting how sometimes the first thing you'll hear from a person is something that seems critical. You're not sure if it's helpful. It seems like it's like maybe partially a slam. Not that I can't be slammed, but it's like the first thing you want to say to me is a criticism, especially one that isn't that criticism making an assumption that I knew something or that I was cognizant, or is it implying that I'm supposed to be cognizant? Do you follow what I'm saying, people? I mean well. I'm far from perfect, but I mean well. And so I've got to the point where I really recognize a lot of times when I find irritation with people and stuff, I can trace that irritation back to something inside of me. So I'm asking some of you folks that I don't know, when you make comments to me and they strike me as, stop and think about your intention. Because that's the first thing that I mull over is, what is a person's intention when they step to me, when they speak to me? I'm all about peace. Not everyone is. And I feel very firmly okay in being exactly who I am. And I have no need for criticism, unnecessarily. I'm not doing nothing purposely to hurt anyone. Just understand me. Along those lines, if you see this, Nathan Morales, I did not watch your video about leaving Facebook, and I'm not going to. I don't need to. If you see this, Nathan, just do what you need to do. My message is, we need to be free to just do our thing. Okay? Just do your thing, When there's things happening, when there's threads on Facebook that are negative or silly, I may make one comment and then I move on. Most of the time I don't even look. It's like, well, this I don't care about this, so I do what I do care. I do what I care about. And that's where my power is. So that's what I do. Okay? That's for you, Nathan. Genesis Abacab. I have 4 copies already, but I couldn't leave it. It was $3. It's on Charisma. I didn't have one on Charisma. I have all but one of the US variations on the cover, but I didn't have this. It's in mint condition. It was only $3. I had to get it. It's a luxury. Yes, I already have the music. I didn't need this. It's a luxury. I'm a collector. I wanted this. I want this for my collection. I got a few more things. I bought this Sun, not S-Sun-O, but Sun. And I got this because it's a project with Oren Ambarchi, a guitarist I'm familiar with, who I don't have. This is my first record of his. I have him on some other records, but I've only listened to a little of this. It sounds pretty good. Was really happy to find this. I only wanted $5 for this because of the tape damage, but it's an original copy of Fairport Convention's Unhalf Bricking on Island. I love the label Island. I love this band. I really do. Some of the more traditional folky sounding songs I can take or leave, but they just do songs like Who Knows Where the Time Goes and stuff. Awesome. Awesome. So to get back to that, like for example the Graham Parsons, if I were sitting visiting with you who really likes it, I would enjoy it with you. But here at home, it would be a rare moment that I would choose to listen to Graham Parsons. So like at the record store, the new record store yesterday, in the dollar section, they had this Badfinger coming, Magic Christian music. I've had this and I've sold it for $1. It's in great condition. It's on Apple. Much of this album I don't like though. I like Carry On and a couple other songs, but they do kind of the boogie thing. I'm just tired of it. Tired of it. Don't want to hear it ever again. For $1, Happy Sad, Tim Buckley. It's crackly. The cover is worn, but it plays, and it's an original. You can see that big scratch on it. But the thing is, it plays right through it. And Many people have said this, and I agree. Sometimes those scratches add character. It's kind of cool to hear them. A few more. This is only 12 bucks. I've been wanting this forever. The Unspoken Word, Tuesday, April 19th, an original. Psych. This one goes for money sometimes. And there's a good reason for it. This is really cool. Really cool. And they wait to spring the girl on you. The girl doesn't sing right away in the record, but when she comes in, yeah, original on Ascot, baby. This is in great shape. Only $12. I think that's because of the worn cover. The guy, Brad, that's running this shop is into music. He's into jazz. He knows what he's doing, and his prices are fabulous. He had an Evan Parker there that I would love to get. It's for 60 bucks, but it's worth 60 bucks. I can't afford it. He's got some stuff there. Here's a reissue on Strata East, but he only wanted $10 for it. Clifford Jordan Quartet on Strata East. Glass Bead Games. Again, this is wonderful. Clifford Jordan, Stanley Cowell, Sam Jones, Billy Higgins, Cedar Walton, Bill Lee. On Strata East. Yes. This one was, he gave this to me at a real neat price because he thought that it was, you know, when you look at it, it looks a little beat, but this, John Coltrane 68, you know this record. New Dalta Acri. Canto Pre Homaro, Song of Humanity. I'm sure that Chris Cole has this, if not some of you other jazz bows. Oliver Lake, Anthony Davis, Leo Smith, Wes Brown and Paul Maddox. Small label. Leo Smith's label. This is incredible. Incredible jazz. It's an original. I looked it up already. It's in great shape. It just has it has a surface mar on one side. That's the only thing. It plays perfectly. Score. Cabell Records, Songs of Humanity. Yeah, I jumped for joy. I love jazz, and I'll say it again, if I had money, I'd catch up with you guys in your collections, because that's all I do is buy records. I'd like to own them all. I would. Incredible. Seriously. This one is like, I'd never seen this before. Art Ensemble of Chicago, Chicongo, on Paula Records of all things. So again, I had to pay for this. But I couldn't leave it. I said, I don't think I've ever seen this. And I love the Art Ensemble of Chicago. And they're just like, to me, they're psychedelic. It's jazz, but it's psychedelic. This was in the buck. These two were in the buck, and I bought them. Michael Quattro. He can really play the keyboards. Susie Quattro's brother. This was a subsidiary of Motown, so in actuality, the record is cheesy, but it was only a buck, and I've always wanted to hear it, you know, because it's Michael Quattro. He can play. And these songs are cheesy, just terrible sentiments in the songs. But some of the music, some of the playing is great. Here's one that was for a buck. I knew it was blues based, but I've never owned this record. I've always kind of liked the cover, and I said, well, for a buck, I can finally hear it. Barbara Moritz, Lamb. Bring Out the Sun. This is an old 1971 release on Warner Brothers. I've always liked that cover. And sure enough, I put the record on, and it's one of those Earth Mama type records, you know, Hippie Mama, who's the early version of a white girl discovering the blues and finding out that she could shout, which is not entertaining or interesting to me. But the only way to hear this, finally, it was a buck. Think about it. It's 2013. I first started seeing this album in 1971-72. Finally, now in 2013, I get to hear it. It's kind of what I thought, but that was why I bought it, okay? Then the last thing I bought, which I only wanted $4 for, and I'm definitely collecting Yes still. Yes shows. I didn't have this one yet. Perfectly clean. Yes shows. So, no, there wasn't any colored vinyl in here. And I'm thinking I'd like to respond to that. I saw some cool colored vinyl records, and colored vinyl is pretty ubiquitous when it comes to records now. Almost every, and I won't do the obvious. All of my releases are on colored vinyl, as well as black. I won't show those. I'll choose others, but it's 20 minutes, so this video may not go up today, because a 10-minute video takes almost 2 hours. A 20-minute video, it's ridiculous. It takes 4 or almost 5 hours for it to upload because of my connection and my slow computer. I would again encourage folks, if something I said in passing prickles you, I strongly encourage you to go back and listen to what I said again, because I mean no ill will. I don't. I really don't. And so for that reason, I don't accept people stepping to me with ill will or dubious motivations for speaking to me in certain ways. I don't deserve it. No one does. I mean, even the politicians and people that I rail against, their humanity doesn't deserve it, but their actions deserve it. That's, I mean, from my point of view, okay? That's what I base it on, you know. To knowingly just be caught up in this ongoing game of power where literally everything you say and do is a lie. I'm not doing that.